welcome everybody. Welcome. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. This is the Wreckage. Hey, good to see you, Panda. Hope you are doing well. Hey, Shaggy. Hello. We are going to dive into this past week. We're going to talk about the rules for the upcoming last week. We're going to talk about playoff rules. We're going to talk about playoff prizes. We've got a chunk of stuff to go over. Shouldn't be a super long show, but did want to come in, hang out with you guys for a little bit. And then if you have any questions, we'll field those. Also, if we want to get into stuff coming up for the channel down the pipe, don't have any real solid answers, but we can talk about stuff as we get going. So it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a real good night. Super excited to be here, having a good time, and we're gonna dive in. Yeah, hey Alucard, looking fishy with the squiddy. Nice to see you, my friends. Yeah, so good week. It was a very good week. This past week, I think it was very interesting. I don't think the dark vision really applied the way that I had hoped it would, so we're going to remedy that this week. In fact, we're going to remedy a chunk of stuff this week, because in case you guys hadn't seen it, for our Week 5 game mode, it is once more with feeling. So this is a little bit of a plan here. Sometimes you do the tricksy bits. Hey, Michael B, thank you for the hype. Yes, so once more with feeling. What does that mean? Oh, what? No. Over there. There you go. Yeah. So I'm gonna list these out. So, match rules from the previous 3 weeks will all be in play. So, thank you for the hydrate. I'll get to that in just a second. Teams will choose a VIP on their side of the field to score double. It is going to be healing points this week. Doubling the healing points this week. So we doubled the damage points last week, and healing is already very powerful. But I want to switch it up. Don't want to do exactly the same thing. But actually, that is out of order. The center square will score an additional point for any damage points scored by players while standing in the center. I would like to attempt to score points for players to score 1 bonus point for players. Attempt to score 1 bonus point for players starting their turn in the center square. I just need to remember to do that. That I can do. So, right? VIP will do the healing. And then we are going to dungeon mode will be engaged. Ceiling is set to 10 feet Arena lanterns are turned off. Mimic chests are in play. Mimic chests deal, it's going to be 30. I'm going to stick to 30. Yes, they will. They did it last week. I'm gonna forget and make them do it again this week, so we might as well just accept it. They're going to deal damage. 30 points of damage and restrain those that fail the investigation check until the start of that player's next turn. Damage dealt against restrained characters will score double. I need to be specific. Characters restrained this way will score double. And dark vision will be limited to 30 feet. Yeah. Fuck you guys. Everybody had dark vision. Everybody saw everything. There was no tension. There was no drama. So 30 feet. You can have light sources that go beyond 30 feet. Light sources and other vision abilities that extend beyond 30 feet will behave normally. We want to get in tight. We want to. You can still see further than 30 feet. You just have to light. You just have to turn on a light. Carry a light. Carry a lantern. Yeah, I got you. That's the thing. You can have. I didn't mind. So for clarity, I didn't mind people having dark vision that extended super long. What for me was the disappointment was the rule was a non-factor. For pretty much like everybody had such long vision at that point, it didn't matter, right? The match behaved exactly the same, and part of the reason I'm doing these rules is to try to create different tactical advantages and disadvantages so that people. Different builds have different moments to shine so that you can dig in and use that creativity. There should not be just one solution for the whole season, right? I'm trying to find ways so that different characters, different classes, different builds have different times to shine. So that is what that is gonna do. So yeah, let's so basically the rules from the past 3 weeks are in play. One additional point for any damage points scored by players. Yep. We're going to attempt to do that. Choose the VIP. We're going to double the healing this week. So those huge damage dealing teams without healing or have minimal healing, the healing's going to be able to catch up, you know? Which includes scoring double healing on unconscious allies. So that needs to be in play. I don't care where your dark vision comes from. If it vision ability, so that's specifically the warlock. The warlock has the class ability Devil Sight, which I'm probably gonna. It's usually 120. I'm gonna limit that to. I'm gonna limit it to 60. So that's the one, because that's sort of the exception, and it's one of the main reasons people like to take warlock. So it's one of the reasons I didn't initially do it, but warlock Devil Sight is limited to 60 feet. 60 feet. Because if you built a warlock for that, I mean, that's kind of one of the only reasons, I think, in this instance, to build a warlock. Rest of the vision abilities, like if you have, some classes get like blind sight to 10 feet, that's going to behave normally. Some classes get like a tremor sense for a certain distance. I don't think there's anything else in the league this season. So I don't care where your dark vision came from. It came from a spell. It came from your race. It came from your items. You comboed all of those. You still get 30 feet. That's it. 30 feet. Sell the items. Get your money back. Do something else with them. 30 feet. You got your use out of it for 1 week. That was great. I'm glad everybody did it. Everybody had their racial features. Most races have 60 feet of dark vision. Don't care. 30 feet. 30 feet of vision. That's what you get. If you want to see past 30 feet, turn on a light. So, yeah, that was a big disappointment for me. It was a big disappointment for me this week. So far, the center square has been the most impactful game. Lanterns specify that you can hang them from your belt. If you want to have a torch, yeah, that's a free hand. But you can hang a lantern off of your belt. Also, the light spell cast on armor or arms is generally very helpful. But realistically, the of the past 3 weeks, the game that has felt and been approached with the greatest difference is the center square. And that to me is sort of the most exciting. And so it's to encourage that. And the vision may not be a factor, really, if everybody is trying to hold the center square. May not. But it does benefit melee fighters. It also benefits characters that do AoEs, because everybody is grouped tight together. So you can hit more people with AoEs. You have more chances of people failing saving throws. The one person it benefits the least is probably, or hurts the most, I guess, are the ones that rely on ranged attacks. But the arena's not that big. Most people that do ranged attacks get run down anyway. Having a lighting source on characters, or just lighting the central lanterns, I really considered making a maze for this week, filling out all the walls that are on the map. That may be something that gets done for next season, but I don't want to change the map too much going into this. But I want to see at least a different match from week to week. A different setup, a different idea. Yeah, it could be a good finals map. It is under consideration. But, yeah, that is one of those things that... Yeah, I love the big wide open spaces. Like they're fun to play in, absolutely, and they have purpose. But I think encouraging the PvP, getting in tight, getting people to be not just, I think, inspired, but also, just trying to find the right word. I am not 100% with what the right word is, but engaged, yeah. Most teams do have a tank, yeah, so they're well suited to holding the center. There's a couple of characters that are ranged focused, but they can still be impactful from the outside. You know what I mean? I don't think strapping a lantern to your tank and having them stand in the center so that they shed light on everybody, like, that's not a bad idea, right? That'll still afford, like, it's probably not going to be as impactful a effort as I want. Like, everybody's probably going to buy a lantern and strap it on their belt, and then it's just going to be the same. But I am at least making an effort to try to create a different environment. But I like the different ways to score. That I'm very excited about. Getting the bonus points for being in the center. That's fun. Getting the bonus points if people can't investigate the chest. That to me is fun. Getting the bonus points for double the healing, right? It's going to allow for bigger swings for characters that can heal, So I'm thinking that is going to be interesting. That is my hope. So that's this week. Let's dive into last week real quick. Let's get the scores up on the boards here. We will check out our standings, and then we're gonna start talking playoffs. Playoff weekend should be a ton of fun. We're bopping over here. All right, Guilty Conscience coming in with the 54. Infinite Revolver, 51. Congratulations once again to Guilty Conscience. A great win this past week. I genuinely, I think it was the decision with, not to take anything away from the play of Guilty Conscience. They played a great game, lights out. They played phenomenally. I think might have been able to make up the difference if Digit was willing to heal. Because Digit, I think, his best scoring in the past has been through healing. So, and I'm noticing something else, but whatever, it's done. I'm not going to go back and redo that. All site. What site are you talking about, Michael? All sight is limited to 30 feet. Devil sight gets 60. All dark vision. Michael, you're making me go back and just make it all things. Great. All sight, 30 feet. This is what happens when we ask questions. There you go. 30 feet. It was a good match. Yeah, it was a great match. Holy Hand Grenade against Granny's Gladiators. That was a tight one. 85 to 89. Granny making the late season comeback. So this small to ride. Yes, and then our last match of the week. This small to ride. Murder Ball Cultist 73 to 96. All right. So, with those in, we're going to hit save scores. All right. Good. Okay, here we go. Infinite Revolver still in first place. They are non-factor. Guilty Conscience jumping up to the true first place of the league. Murder Ball Cultist in second. Granny's Gladiators, which I can't change the name of, to third. This small to ride in fourth. Holy Hand Grenade in fifth. Still anybody's league, right? Still anybody's league. So let's looking at Holy Hand Grenade, right? A Holy Hand Grenade win over the Murder Ball Cultist that's going to be a huge match this week. Picking up that win for Holy Hand Grenade will put them at 1, 2, and 2, and would put Murder Ball Cultist at 2 and 3. I mean, that would jump them. The 2 draws puts them pretty much even with Granny's Gladiators, which is, there's still a lot of places to move. And then, for instance, Guilty Conscience beating Granny's would drop them down a place. Guilty Conscience would stay on top. Of course, the reverse happens. Guilty Conscience goes even with Granny's would probably go to first unless Murder Ball Cultist, right, win. So there's a lot of ways for every team to move at least 2 positions in here. And 2 positions are going to be huge, are going to be big movers this week, because we have our tournament lineup. Let's see. There's Matthew. Yeah. Okay. So, there we go. Yes. So this is kind of a simple bracket, right, that we would be able to... Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Mark. Simple bracket that we'll be able to fill out. So our first place team is going to get the bye. They're going to go up against teams 4 or team 5, right? So team 4 or 5, or technically 5 or 6, is team 2. Yeah, the Infinite Revolver sort of throws everything off, but they're gonna be done this week, which is good. So if you're in the bottom 2, you can still win. You can still make it to the quarterfinals here. The loser of the 2 losers here will it'll be up to point differential, I believe. In these matches is probably how we'll do it. So, so if Team 5 fights Team 1 here and is only loses by 1 point, whereas Team 2 and 3 it's a blowout, Team 5 is going to get third. Or it might be the whole, we might do the whole league. We'll poll the audience on that, I think. But we do have some other fun things to get into, right? So, let's get a good scroll going. Pop this over to the center, and this is going to be playoffs week. Yes. All right. So, playoffs week. The higher seed team will get first choice. Of game mode. So, for each playoff match, each team will be allowed to choose one of the game modes from weeks 2 through 5, 2 through 4. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go 2 through 5. So, our first place team, whoever's in first place, will get the choice every week, the first choice every week. What game mode do you want to play? Now, what that means is that the second team to choose can choose a game mode that has already been chosen. I'm going to say can choose an overlapping game mode. In that instance, the bonuses will be doubled. Will be improved upon. And then we'll go into examples. If center control is chosen twice, then 2 bonus points will be scored per instance of damage. Additionally, 2 bonus points will be scored for starting your turn in the center square. If VIP is chosen twice, thank you. One VIP will score double on healing. The second will score double on damage. These may not be the same VIP. If dungeon mode is chosen twice, then mimic chests will score double. There we go. So, actually, so that's all true. So the higher seed team, I'm not going to give them first choice. I'm actually going to give them what they do get. to defer or pick the game mode first. So if you are team 1 the entire way through, except for the finals, you won't get the finals. You get them in the playoffs. I'll be choosing for the finals, or maybe we'll leave it up to the audience for the finals, right? For the finals, for everything other than the finals, the first place team will get the choice, like the coin flip in football. You basically were saying you won, right? You are the home team. You're defending. Do you want to pick the game mode first, or do you want to let your opponents pick the game mode first? And I think there's some tactics to that, right? If your opponents were going to pick a game mode that you were already going to benefit from, you can double up on that. Or if there's a game mode you like absolutely have to get in, right? You want to make sure it happens, then you make that choice. I think that's a good interesting thing as well. That is going to be the layout for the playoff week, right? These all seem to continue to be a problem for me. Balancing these is a huge pain. Well, I haven't been following that, have I? So, and then I'm going to do a reworked boon. There will be no boon of prosperity for the playoffs. You go into the playoffs with what you got. What you got is what you got. So this week is kind of the last week for teams to earn gold. Yeah, I don't think I want to do. Well, what do you guys think? Do you guys think doing gold between the matches? Because I don't think there's going to be time, honestly, right? Because if we're talking, yeah, we're trying. I would love to do it all in one weekend. I don't know that people are available enough to do it again a week later. So we're looking at doing, yeah. So 4, 5, and 2 and 3 on Friday night, and then this match 1 versus the winner of 4 and 5, and the finals on that Saturday. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah. I don't know that we're going to have, like I said, I don't think we're going to have the time to really, for people to go in and buy more stuff, and you know what I mean? What you got is what you got. Exactly. Yeah, you should be prepared. You should be ready to jump in. So, match timers. Lore match. Yeah, so Guilty Conscience this week does get their bonus gold, 3,000 gold pieces bonus to Guilty Conscience. Need to make sure that we let them know about that. That is that. We've got the announcement of the playoffs. Got the game modes in. I think one of the boons I'm gonna do is I might do this. If you don't know what this is the Bunkers and Badasses D20, and if you'll notice, there's a bunch of weird symbols on it. So what I'm thinking about right now is replacing the boon of prosperity with the boon of badassery. So that means that your 18, 19, and 20 all count as natural 20s, but your 1, 2, and 3 all count as natural 1s. Which I think it's cute. I think that's fun. Personally, I think that is a fun. It's a little swingy. It's a little extreme. It does benefit damage dealers or people that make attack rolls more than it benefits people that make like saves or forces saves. So I may not, but I'm trying to find something fun to spice up the playoffs because the prosperity doesn't matter anymore, right? The 3 points is fine, but I want to bump it down. People have been very focused on the prosperity. I didn't think it was going to be as popular as it was, so I'm trying to find time and opportunity to make those other boons feature, right? I'm real surprised that the boon of undeath hasn't been utilized as effectively as I would have thought. The magic resistance one is also super useful. I was trying to find things that people could benefit from in other places, but no level ups if we're not doing downtime in between whatever level characters are going into week 5 at 11, and then playoffs will be at 12. So you're not making 13. Right? So you're going to end at 12. Yeah. You're going to end at 12. So yes. All right. So we've got this is going to be a huge week coming in here. Excited for the lore match. Got the fun sort of reveal for that. Yeah, it has been a good season of PvP. It is, PvP is always a little stressful for me. It's always a struggle. You guys know I prefer to be a storyteller, and PvP just doesn't play to my strengths. So I'm hoping to, sort of piece together all the knowledge, all the information that we've gathered from doing this PvP. It seems to be what, it always piques people's interest. There are so many things. Yeah, there's a ton of things. And I love that it excites people. But, I think the reality of the PvP is always its own interesting sort of world. So, Dragonlance. It is. This is going much better than season 1. Absolutely. It's it's tough. It's not GMing. It's reffing. You're reffing. It's not GMing, and I think that's the stress. You know what I mean? Is think in some small part of my heart, I want to GM it, or a large part of my heart, I want to GM it. I want to treat it like wrestling. I want to, I want to book angles and winners and losers and I think that in my mind is the way part of it's supposed to go, but it is also it's a different stress, it's a different mindset for PvP, because so much of real sports and racing and all of those sorts of things is very much people having to be so. The best characters in actual sports or racing or actual competitions are the ones that are so over the top that they are larger than life. But in reality, those aren't people I want on my channel. Those aren't people I want to hang out with. You know what I mean? Those aren't people I want to invite to play. Like that's a difficult thing. There is a wrestling RPG, yeah, and it's more about booking a good show than I think like wins or losses. But yeah, there is one. It is there. It is a good time. So yeah, do you guys have any other questions? I'm sure you could, Blondie. I am 100% confident that you could GM. I'm 100% confident you could tell a fantastic story or do whatever you wanted to do. But it can be. All right. Alucard's got a question. Always ready for an Alucard question. It can be intimidating, but oftentimes you find you get the right people at the table and everybody is just pulling in the same direction, and that's the biggest thing. High level campaigns are a lot. There's a lot of stuff that you rarely get to see or you never get to see that that jump out at you. I don't, what are the stipulations for choosing spells for the Ring of Storing? Somebody has to cast it in there. The person that casts it has to be on the field. Similar to benefits gained from an artificer. If you are the caster and you have it in the... It doesn't have to be during the game. You don't have to use a spell slot pre-round or during the game. You can get the spell slot from the downtime in between. That I don't care about. But you can't use a spell of a character that's not playing that night or isn't on the field. Right? That's what I'm trying to avoid. Because people have like a backup character or a fourth player, although we've had some attrition this season. But that idea or that rule is really to avoid... We have an artificer that never comes on the field, but he's on the team. Yes, has to be based on what your team has available. Yes. Shading up wizard and it'll tell you, hey, you got them spells? You wanna cast me a spell? So yeah, no, you can't do that, but it's what your team has available, and every team I think every team definitely has a spellcaster, of some kind. So all of that is good. It can be a teammate, doesn't have to be you. Certain class benefits has to be you. For instance, there's a question about the artificers getting a D8 from like their implements when they cast it into the ring, but it's not coming out of the ring from the implement. So yeah. Um, could I add that to the spreadsheet so it's answered for later? The signature weapon sheet. Yeah. Yeah, I can. I've answered that question enough at this point, but I think everybody's heard it. But yeah, I can do that. Gauntlets of Ogre Power. Where is it? Ring of Resistance. Weapon of Certain Death. Reroll. Sort of power runes, life stealing. Defender. Dragon's Wrath weapon. Where is it? There it is. Spell storing. Okay. Yep. Characters. From a member of their team that is active during current match. This. There we go. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the weapon chart I think has a ton of fun stuff. I probably should have spread it out a little differently since we don't have the rerolls that we did in season 2. I know we dropped the ball with that, but yeah, a lot of interesting stuff here. I think it's a fun idea. I like it. I like it. Yeah. Well, my friends, I'm glad you've enjoyed it, Alucard. I'm really glad. That's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. I gotta dig in and see, what everybody has rolled. But I think, yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna send you guys on a raid. Indigo Chameleon is doing a Vampire the Masquerade game, and it's actually being GM'd by one of our VTM players, who is awesome. So yeah, and super exciting about that. So please go show them a little love. I'm gonna get out of here for tonight, and yeah, so this is my last week before starting the new job next week, next Tuesday. So we're gonna be looking and putting out casting calls for games, for short run games, for spooky Halloween season games, for D&D. Also, I think for me, in the next PvPs are going to be more tournament style. I think I can handle doing PvP more as like a tournament for a weekend than doing it as a full season for a while. So, but I think there's some fun setups for that, right? Ultramodern is clearly one. Everybody's got a little bit of interest in now. Another one is doing one at 20 or doing prefab characters. Yeah, the MOBA prefab characters would be really cool to have, build those stories around those characters. So there's a lot of good options for us to dig into with that. But we are going to be looking for a ton of players and GMs and exciting characters and stuff going into the fall. So if you guys aren't a part of the Discord, definitely keep your eyes peeled over there. I'll probably be more active on it while I'm at work because I'll want to avoid it. But I am super excited for... Why is that not the name? What is that? What do you mean that's not the name? What is that? What? Oh, the screw you underscore. Thank you. Thank you, Pixie. I love and appreciate you. So, it's going to be a crazy week. I'm super excited for this week. Got some rehearsals, going to try to go and maybe hit up some open mics and just all sorts of really fun stuff. Going to live my best life before heading out. So, show Indigo Chameleon some love. Thank you guys for being here. I will see you all next time. But until then, be cool.